and gentlemen, how you doing? How's everything? How's life? The world, it's crumbling, but a phoenix will come out of it. We are joined here by my main man, ill-logicz.
What it is.
Ali the Alien.
That's how it is.
And ladies, obviously we have Mr. Bandison in the motherfucking building. That goes without saying. Come on, Greg. And ladies and gentlemen, today in the building we have, how do I put this into words? We have a man, a big, strong man, a talented man. Calling him a triple threat would be the understatement of the year. A man who has been performing across the world, across the globe, from places from Japan to Dubai to Florida to the rest of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, in the building, we have Mr. Jerel Brown. How are you doing today?
Hello, thank you.
How is it going?
It feels good to be here, honestly.
I am so glad to have you here today, and it's for those who don't know, it's an honor to call Mr. Jerel Brown one of my closest friends, one of my most talented friends. This is a man who is a choreographer, a performer in all the horizons of the word. Jerel, why don't you give everybody kind of a little bit of a rundown for those who don't know you?
Yeah, I don't like to put myself in a box, so I do a lot of different things.
Hell yeah.
I teach dance, like I choreographed for high school students in different schools. Like I've been doing that for years. Been hired in like West Palm Beach, Broward County, just had my own business, been doing that for years.
Hell yeah.
And then also performing professionally. Like this past year, just been doing musical theater until COVID.
That damn COVID.
And then, you know, I did some stuff in like TV film in New York and did some performing in Japan.
How'd you get started in we were talking about this before the show started, but how did you get started in performing in general?
It was school.
Hell yeah.
Was definitely school. Like I really wanted to do TV and film growing up. Mm-hmm. And when I got to high school, they didn't really offer that. They offered TV production, but just
more behind the scenes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, I had a friend who was just like, oh, you should come out to the drama club. They're doing a show. And I was like, all right, I gave it a shot. And it was different, like, having, like, an audience in front of you. You know, you just receive all that energy, and it's something different.
Yeah.
So then I got stuck into it.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, this is what I'm going to do, musical theater.
It's hard not to pursue that adrenaline rush, you know?
Yeah.
I love that. And at what point did you kind of like start thinking that this could be, you know, something more serious, a career path, as opposed to, you know, something just in school?
It was tough, like, in school because, you know, your parents, they want you to do something to make some money. You know, they want you to be a doctor, a lawyer, and stuff like that. But I was, like, really passionate about doing theater. So I went to school for a bit, and at one point, I really couldn't afford it. Like, I had bright futures and stuff like that, but then they weren't really, like, supporting me on that. That was, like, more me kind of thing. I was, like, fronting up my bills. So then I, like, stopped. And then when I stopped, I like came back home and I just started doing like my own thing. Like I started seeing like music teachers for private vocal lessons, dance lessons and stuff like that. And I just started doing auditions. And then I just started getting my first gigs and just kept getting a resume. So it was just like I was already surpassing, you know, my colleagues who were already in school.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to get a degree and I was like gaining the experience already.
Hell yeah. Well, what would you say, especially in the South Florida or in the Florida theater scene in general? How much of it is how good your audition is, and how much of it is you know, how well you know the director, the connections you've made, having worked with a certain director before? How much does that play a role in this?
I would say it goes in both ways, you know. there's been some theater companies or people who like taking a chance on you because of your talent. They don't know you. But then, sometimes you have directors or whatever who are going to do a show and they're like, oh, I need X amount of people. And if you have like a certain amount of people that you already work with, it's easier if you're like, oh yeah, I worked with you before one, like, come on over.
Hell
like,
yeah.
Hell
yeah.
And I will say, like, that's been for me. There's been a lot of times where I just got called to be in the show.
Yeah.
And I will be blessed to say it's probably been like two or 3 years since I've like actually auditioned for a show.
Hell yeah. And
that's
that's when you know. That's when everybody knows your fucking resume. You're like, you don't even gotta pull that shit out. We know.
So it's like, I've been booked. I never really had to audition. It's just been like those things where like people heard of me and they're just like, yo, can you like shoot me a video or your resume or like a video or something if you already done. I'm like, sure. And they're like, cool, you're hired. So
Damn, and everybody just sweating it out at the auditions. Yeah. Mr. Jerel Brown's at the crib. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. There's for those who don't know, our very own ill-logicz was actually he was a techie back in the day.
I was.
Very involved in theater. And this was my right hand man when it came to my high school productions as far as lighting. Like if I had to have a spotlight, it was gonna be there. What have you ever had any? Give us some stories as far as like technical difficulties during live shows.
Ooh. Technical difficulties during live shows.
Yeah. Because I could rely on my boy Ill and he never failed me, So has there ever been any, maybe there was a blackout that came too soon or, something that was, out of the norm?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so when I was working out in Japan, we were working in this huge theater. Like it housed like a lot of fans.
Yeah.
So it was like a huge set and they had like pyrotechnics, like
oh shit,
fog, just like all this craziness. And it was like,
what's pyrotechnic?
Like fire and fireworks inside the theater.
Okay.
So like they would have like explosions and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So like I know like there are times where we had a lift.
Okay.
That we would like come up and down, like certain characters would like come
from
up
below
and
the
down.
Stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like a reveal. You just like rise
on some Jay-Z shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in a concert.
Yeah.
So like there'll be times where there was like these buttons that you have to like keep your feet on
for it to go up and down.
Like for it to like actually go. It's like one of those things where it's like somebody's on the side pushing the button and your feet have to be on the buttons at the same time.
Yeah.
And if you happen to like let your foot off, it'll get stuck.
Like it'll stop.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And
well, yeah, because I feel like people would get their legs stuck going up.
Yeah.
Like.
So it was just like one of those things. It never really happened to me where I was just like, well, the thing is, it was difficult because I played Frankenstein.
And why don't we pull up a little picture of Mr. Frankenstein? Look at that! Oh my god! Look at that uniform, that costume, that makeup. How long? By the way, how long did that makeup take?
Half an hour.
For real?
But I got it down to like 15 minutes.
Even with the forehead?
You had to do your own makeup?
You had to do my own makeup.
Wait, even with the forehead?
The forehead, that was like latex. So like when I went in for training, they like literally molded my entire head.
Oh.
They like put straws up my nose, molded my entire head. And
so it was custom made for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you were in Japan, continue.
But yeah, it took me like 15 minutes to get that done.
And was there any malfunctions that happened when you were over there in Japan?
Malfunctions?
Like when you took out?
Trip.
You would trip a lot?
Yeah.
And did you fall?
So like, I'm 6'4", and then we had to wear these platform boots. that
Oh
were
my
like
God.
probably like this big
So how tall
to
were
make
you?
us taller.
How tall were you with them?
Probably like 6'9".
Wow, yeah, that's KZ. That's KZ height right there.
But it's just like walking on mini stilts,
Oh
which I
my
walked on
God.
stilts before, but
For
when you're
what
like
show?
running up and down stairs and
Yeah.
like dancing, it's a whole different story.
I bet. Holy
crap.
shit! And how did the whole where were you performing in Japan? How'd that come about?
They had auditions in Orlando, so like
This was for Universal Studios, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So like it was just like an audition notice for like Universal Studios Japan,
Okay.
and because they have different ones, they have one out in Singapore as well.
Oh shit.
So they had auditions, and I went out. It was probably fresh out of high school. I went out there, and I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Then I went a second time.
That
Didn't
bit of
get it.
rejection, boy. And everybody's way too used to it. You know, as a performer, you gotta be accustomed to it.
Yeah,
You gotta
I tell
savor
people
it.
that all the time. You gotta
gotta-
get used to hearing no.
Yeah. Just a million no's and then maybe a yes. You know, like so they said no, fresh out of high school. Were you devastated or were you nah?
Devastated? No,
But let down.
because it was just like it was different. Like, cause I've been to some auditions and they were like different. So they were just like very warm and welcoming, and you're like, oh cool, they like me, you know. Even though they're like, no. But that's how the Japanese are. Like, it's like their culture. They're like super sweet and cool.
So even if you were horrible, they would have still been extremely sweet.
Yeah. Because even like, you know, even in Japan, like you go into a restaurant, if you're like, you speak English? And they're like, no. It's still like sweet.
Yeah, because they're shy about it.
Yeah, I would honestly say a lot of Japanese people are shy, but they secretly know more English than we, you know.
Then they let on to believe. So was it the second time that you got it? How
It was my third time, actually.
the third?
I
Tell
went
me
on
about
a
the second
whim.
time and the third time.
The second time, I like drove up myself. I just like hopped in the car, drove over to Orlando.
Fuck the bullshit. Yeah.
Like, I just got there, did it, and they were like, cool, you know, we'll get back to you. And it was like a maybe. So like they were like, oh, we'll hear back in like December. And then it was like a no.
But they actually told you no, as opposed
Yeah.
to just never getting back to you.
Yeah, that's like the good thing though. They actually get back to you and
Good,
they were like,
yeah.
unfortunately,
That's good.
we're going.
Yeah, because you could go to an audition, they'll just never. They don't. You keep waiting, and you're never gonna. You know.
Yeah.
And then tell me about the coveted third audition.
The third audition, I actually went in just like not caring. I was just like, I'm just gonna go. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like it was just like I told my friend, I was just like, you want to go to Orlando? Like we'll go to the parks. I'm gonna go to this audition and we can bounce. And he was
Hell
like,
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Dope.
I went and I was just literally like,
Right?
y'all seen me before. Like it was just like that kind of attitude.
You know, yeah, you know what it is.
I wasn't like trying as hard.
Yeah.
I was just like, whatever. Like, here's my song, do the dance, and they were like, cool. And then I got like December or November. They were like, cool, we're interested,
Oh,
and I got the gig. 13 months.
holy shit! How'd you react? How'd you react when was it an email, a call?
It was an email.
Yeah.
Cause like first they like sent out like, oh, this is what we want to offer you. You know, you're gonna get this much pay. We're gonna give you this much just to live off of. Apartment, like a bike, what else? Like train passes.
Oh shit.
So they like set you up.
Yeah.
What kept you going and like wanting to do it again, or
Yeah. What was the drive behind after the rejections?
The drive. I really like was very interested in the Japanese culture growing up.
Yeah.
Just like watching anime and stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
So it was just like one of those things that I really was interested in. And my brother actually lives there. So it was just like one of those things I was like, I really want to go out there. So when I did get to go out there, I got to see him. So I was staying in Osaka and he stays in Tokyo.
Which is like how long from each other?
I would say like Florida to New York.
Okay. Okay, so like a 4-hour flight or so.
Yeah, maybe 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah, or you can take the bullet train, the Shinkansen.
Oh yeah, have you taken it?
Yeah.
How is it?
It's great.
Yeah?
You ever been on the Bright Line?
I haven't, but I want to. It's like the Hogwarts of Express of Florida.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, tell me about it. Is it actually like bougie?
Super fast. Like you're going by so fast, and you just don't even realize it. And you're like, bam, I'm already here. Like it takes like 2 hours, and they're already stopping at like major cities. Like if I go to Osaka, they're stopping at Kyoto. They're stopping at Nagoya, and then they're probably stopping at one more before they get to Tokyo. And it's like real quick. They're like, you're at Kyoto. You literally have like 2 minutes to like get on and off. It's just like get on, get off, and then it's right on again.
Was there any sort of like culture shock when you got there?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah? Tell me a little bit.
Like
What were some of the biggest differences that you were in awe about?
how like super clean it was.
Yeah?
Yeah. You don't really like see garbage on the streets. You don't even see garbage cans on the streets. Like you don't see garbage cans on the street.
I remember messaging you about this, about a video I had seen that you have to separate the recyclables by the type of plastic it is.
Yeah.
Do you have to do that?
Yeah, that was something else. Like recycling is like its whole chore. Because if you don't do it right, they won't take your trash.
Nope. Yeah, hey, they're throwing shade right there, bro.
They literally won't take your trash.
Like you have to separate it by the type of plastic, which is, I mean, it's dope though. Mm-hmm. It's dope because it's more productive.
Everything like milk cartons, you have to like pour it out and everything. And you have to cut them up.
Oh, you have to cut them up too?
Yeah, you have to cut them up to where it's like they lay flat.
Wow. And so they'll legit like open the bag right there, and if it's not correct, they'll just
like, it'll be like if you have your trash bag, and if you have mixed things in there, if you have like water bottles or cartons in there, they won't take it.
Wow.
They'll leave it right there.
Over here, everybody puts their trash in the recyclable. Straight up.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I had a very important question. I was trying to be okay with the conversation, but so you mentioned anime, right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite anime? What's your favorite anime?
We were talking about. Well, I don't want to say it.
What?
I don't know if you saw the episode, but we were talking about an anime.
I like.
Yeah?
The one with the.
I got,
Okay,
understand. My excitement just got curled into my.
I like. Have you ever heard of Samurai Champloo?
No.
Like
I need to get
sounds
Crunchyroll,
dope.
to be honest with you, because everything that I want to
about
watch
it?
is on that.
I think that's what really got me into anime. Samurai Champloo. It's like these samurais, but it has like such a hip hop vibe to it.
That sounds dope.
I think that sounds familiar.
We were talking about.
that before in a beat.
I think that's why yeah.
Mr. Bandison says that he sampled that before in a beat. We were talking about Parasite like an episode ago or so.
Oh yeah, that's a shit.
Have you seen it?
I have not, but it shows up as like my. I may like.
Oh, okay. It looks insane.
I just like the message behind it because it talks about like perspective. If you ever, we come off as if you like natural instinct. If your natural instinct is for lions to eat, zebras, you can't be mad as a human to be like, oh, you're killing a zebra, but that's their natural instinct. You know what I mean? And then, but they interpret that into humans, where a parasite comes in and is the same shit. So.
Are there any are there any other ones that you're a fan of?
Yeah, I like Attack on Titans.
I heard that one's
Oh, yeah.
amazing. I heard that one's great.
Death Note.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for the movie though.
No.
A lot of like the live action one.
Yeah.
A lot of people say it sucks.
Yeah.
Where it was a white guy played the role,
Yeah.
the main role.
And it was a black guy who played the other role. I was like, y'all really trying it.
Also, I heard the live action Avatar was whack.
Yeah, they called him Ong the whole entire movie, and because of my OCD, I was just like, if y'all don't start calling this man His
Oh my
actual
God.
name. Yeah.
That's crazy. What do you have you ever had a situation where either Japan or whatever, that someone's just blacked out on stage? Have you saved the day? Tell me about that. Blanked out, like they forgot their lines.
Oh, like you had to improv the scene or something?
Something like you said, blacked out. Like
No. Yeah, that's what I
blanked.
thought. Like
They forgot their lines.
Not that I can remember, because like we were very like in order,
But-
Japanese style. Like,
But
don't
even
play.
what about down here though?
Here, yeah.
Yeah, it's like they don't have the same.
Well, I don't have to save the day. It's
Yeah.
just like people just like, there's people who miss the whole verse, and you're like,
Yeah,
like I've done a show where I had to like dance back up, and this one guy just like completely blanked and just like was like,
Are you serious?
just like, and this was like probably like one of the last performances. Like we ran it so many times.
Oh
That's
my
crazy.
God! Wow.
Oh, you imagine watching a show
Yo.
and you,
Like, like,
You're like, what?
what? Is it?
oh,
It's
that's
Takashi?
crazy.
What's
Yeah,
happening
it's
right now?
Takashi.
Yo. Oh my God. And because some people are still like on book and during Tech Week. I mean, I've noticed that sometimes.
Yeah.
But it
Some
happens.
people, yeah.
Some people are late to the party. What are some other, I guess, like cultural differences that you noticed when you were in Japan?
I would say huh?
Being a tall black
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, was that like, how were you?
I
Did
was
you
a
okay? Did you go
celebrity.
for real?
Yeah.
Why?
For no reason.
For real?
Yeah, like if I just went to Shinsaibashi, which is like the fashion district there where they have like their mall. Like I would just go there and people would just be like, oh my gosh. And they like run over to me and they were like, picture. And I'm like, why?
Why?
And they just think like I'm some celebrity. They're just like, why are you here?
And was this wasn't even like involving the park, so they didn't
No,
know
not
that. So
even.
they didn't
like,
even know
in
that
the
you were
park.
a performer.
No.
Wow.
If I told them I performed,
they would have lost
oh
it.
my gosh, they would literally lose their shit. Like
Yeah.
I was like a K-pop star. Like if I said I worked at Universal, like so we always say USJ as Universal Studios Japan. And
Oh,
if
you better
said
get
to
it
a
right. You better
Japanese
get it right.
If you said to a Japanese person, "Oh, I work at USJ," they would like like freak out. USJ, no.
Yo,
You're like,
for real?
yeah. So, but like for me, people were like, "Why are you here? Are you a basketball player?" I'm like, no.
Oh wow.
Are you a
for real?
teacher?
Are you?
No.
Oh my God.
Military. I'm like,
For
no.
real?
Those are like the three I get: basketball player or teacher.
Do you ever-
Military.
Do you ever get like offended?
Nah,
Nah. It's just like,
because they love black people.
yeah.
I
It's just
think so.
they're just not used to it. Is what it is.
For some reason, they're just always shocked when people are in Japan. They're just like, "Why are you here?"
We want to
Why
go over there.
Japan? Right. It's sort of that thing where it's like they have pride for the country, but it's like it's our country, but somebody else coming, they're like, why?
How's the nightlife, like the culture, as far as like, what do you do when you're not performing over there? Listen,
I could write books.
Yeah,
On stories and stories because they know how to party.
for real.
Yes, they know how to party.
Do
I
they?
even went to an after hours club where they open at 5 a.m.
What?
That's
That's a breakfast buffet.
Yeah.
For
Like,
real?
You can drink in public, so we all be drinking on the trains, walking in the streets, going to the club. And like me and my friends, like when we first got there, we would just like, we made good friends with like different people, like promoters and stuff like that, people who weren't affiliated with the park, and they just like would invite us into VIP all the time. And like people would just like freak out just to see us, like
Frankenstein's here, motherfucker.
but no, not even knowing us like affiliated with the park, just
Wow.
seeing like us all dressed up, just like
Hell yeah.
just drinking. They're just like, oh my gosh, it's so cool, they're from America,
Oh my-
like
That's so cool, yo.
so like they just drink and party and like a lot of restaurants and bars have like all you can drink plans. You'd be like, pay $30, you can get whiskey, vodka, you know,
What?
all you can drink.
Pay $30 to get faded.
Basically, yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would like to.
We need to adopt that in America.
Yeah, right.
Shit. That is dope. And how about the Dubai thing? How'd that come about?
Completely opposite.
Okay.
Dry country.
But first of all, were you performing there?
Yeah. So I actually got hired to perform there at a park that was just opening up. It was called Dubai Parks and Resorts.
Oh.
And they were trying to open up.
Was it like a family theme sort of thing?
It was supposed to be like a huge park, something like Disney.
Okay.
And they had like all these like brands like DreamWorks and
shit.
stuff like that. So they had like a Hunger Games area, like
wow.
Smurfs and stuff like that. And I got hired to do like this Ghostbusters
Oh shit.
gig. And like the thing is they kept like pushing the opening date. They were just like, oh, we're gonna open, you know, September. And it was like, nah, we're gonna open in October. Nah,
And
we're
you were-
gonna open in December.
And you were in Dubai the entire time they were doing this?
I was for a while, and then I was just like over it.
Were they yeah, like were they
Fuck
but
that.
were they paying your stay? Like how was that? Or
It was, I would say, it was completely unorganized because
very
like
fire
it
festival.
was like one of those things. Like I had the Japanese people like reaching out to me, and they're like, "We need this by this date," just like very. And these people, they were like, "Okay, we need this. All right, here. Your flight's tomorrow." And you're like, "What?"
What?
Like it was like that. And so like when I got there, like people were like, we were set up in a hotel, and they were like, "Oh, you got here at the right time," because before they were like sleeping in like rooms together on cots. People were getting their flights like saying like, "Oh, you leave in 12 hours."
Bro, that was that fire festival right
Like,
there.
For
It
real.
was a lot, yeah. So I left because I had a family emergency, and like I heard like then they started like putting like the performers to work, cause like they had like have them like sweeping the park. And it was like, can you imagine sweeping
I
in the
did not
park?
sign up for this shit.
Sweeping the park in the desert.
Nah, bro, get the yeah. same, yo. Wow. That's wild. That's wild. How
So
long?
were they getting paid? Were you just flying out there for free labor?
So like,
for real.
I'm gonna tell you
I think
like
you got scammed.
one crazy part was like I remember like going to orientation. Like they were like, all right, they got this van, came pick us up at our hotel. It was probably like 3 or 4 of us. We just drive out in the middle of nowhere, just sand.
Oh my god.
We finally pull up to like this building, and the guy just drops us off, and we're just like sitting there, and he's like, I don't know, and he like leaves.
I used
And
driving.
we're like walking around this building. There's nobody there, and like this lady just came out of nowhere, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, like where'd you guys come from?" And we're like, "We got dropped off here." So she take us in the office, and she's like telling us to like sign the contracts, but like we don't like really get to read them. She's just like, "Turn to page 13, sign at the bottom. Turn to page 18, sign at the bottom." And I'm like,
Yeah, let me read this contract.
like I'm like real sketched.
yeah.
Even the numbers alone is good.
Yeah.
So then she's like, all right, we guys need your passports. So we like give our passports or whatever, and they take our stuff. And then she was like, we're gonna hold on to these.
Like hell you are.
We were like, what?
What?
And they were like, yeah. They were like, we told you guys to make copies of your passports. I hope you guys have those at home. But we're gonna hold on to these for safe security, so no one steals them from you.
You're
For
That don't make no sense.
identity theft.
Yeah, so,
Wait, pause.
so let's
So
put them
it
all in
was
one
like-
place so they can steal them all together.
It was just like one of those things. Like we were all leaving. Like, what did we just get ourselves into?
Bro, that was a fire festival.
How
right
did you
there.
get out? Oh, you're here, so
Yeah,
good thing.
yeah, for real. How'd you?
That was something on its own. So, like I said, I had a family emergency, so they were trying to get me out of the country, and I was at the airport, and I was late for my own flight because they still had my passport.
Oh my God.
So like they had to like send somebody like to come get it. Like I'll never forget, it was like this man, he had his all white on. He was like running in the airport. He's like panting, and I was just like, "You're late." So he was like literally trying to like get the people to put me on the plane because like they just boarded, but they didn't like fly away yet, and they're like, nah.
Oh my God.
And he was trying his hardest. Like he was like running up and down the aisles, just like trying to get everybody, and they were like, no. So they had to reschedule me. And I had to wait like another 12 hours, like.
Oh my
in the
God.
airport.
Damn, yeah, because you're flying. Across the country.
What is as far as over there, I heard, well, or I know, you know, it's very strict on alcohol, this and that. What was your experience on that? Like, was there any sort of nightlife? Did you have any sort of interactions or altercations with anyone? What was the scene like over there?
So alcohol, I would say, I guess you would treat it like weed.
Over there?
Yeah, because like even though it's like a dry country, like people sell it.
Where?
Just
It's like, I ain't gonna tell you my plug.
I'm not stupid.
I can't tell you exactly where. Just like different
Dang.
people. So like what people do is like when they fly in, they just go to duty free
Okay.
and just buy bottles,
Oh.
and then they sell them. But they sell them for a ridiculous price.
I'm assuming.
You pay like $80 for some Sky vodka.
What?
Like, yeah, because if you go, so the only place you're gonna be like drinking is if you're at like
A hotel?
in a hotel,
Yeah.
like the Marriott or something like that. Those are the only places that serve alcohol, and they have like the clubs, but you're paying $20, $25 for a drink.
Shit. Did the cops have Lambos?
Have what?
Did the cops have Lambos?
I don't remember seeing cop cars, but
word?
I remember like being at their mall, their Dubai mall, where they have like the Burj Khalifa. Like all you saw was just like all these expensive cars just lined up because they have nothing but money.
Yeah.
They have
Damn.
so much money out there because of oil.
Yeah, the oil. That's wild. For those who tune in every week, we know, or you know, that we have a weekly segment by the name of Craig's Movie Reviews. What do you say? And the film for this week is We're gonna go with Ills.
All right, I have my input in this.
It's gonna be
Finally,
Ills.
I've been waiting
Ills-
for this moment.
He's like, I've been
I've been waiting for this moment. All right,
Ills
for
movie review.
We're gonna switch it up, guys. We're gonna go from movies to shows, and we're gonna talk about. Well, not talk about, but we're gonna introduce Space Force.
Space Force with Steve Carell.
Steve Carell.
How was that? I haven't watched it yet.
Well, I mean, I'm biased because I'm a huge Steve Carell fan, just because of The
The
Office.
Office.
The Office is my favorite show of all time.
Gang.
It was entertaining. It's not. I wouldn't say, yo, it's to die for. I wouldn't say that it's gonna, it's the funniest thing you'd ever see, but it's so entertaining. And I mean, it's Steve Carell. Like he just does his thing.
Did you laugh out loud?
A couple times.
Okay.
Not, it's a 10 episode season, and I laughed a couple times. But aside from that, like it wasn't like I was bored of it.
Okay.
I was watching and it was like, cool.
So what's the thumb ratio?
I'll give it a 1 thumbs up.
A one thumbs
Yeah,
up.
one
A
thumbs
one thumbs up.
Yeah.
Space Force.
Space
Respect.
Force. Yeah.
Respect. Jerel, speaking on the topic of police in Dubai, kind of switching up over to police in the U.S. Big difference. You told me that you went protesting recently. Why don't you tell me about your experience?
Yeah. So I was like, after the whole incident with George Floyd,
Yeah.
I was like in a very roller coaster like state of emotions. I didn't know what was going on, and I was like mad and angry and sad, and just like being locked up in quarantine.
Doesn't help. Yep.
Nah. So then I knew that they were doing one out in Fort Lauderdale, and I was like, oh shit, I want to go out there, because they actually moved it, because originally they were going to do it at Sunrise or Lauderhill, and then the city was like, nah.
Nah.
So then they moved it like the same day. So then they moved it to Fort Lauderdale. So then I was like, oh shit, I want to try to get out there, but I couldn't make it. But I had some friends who was already out there, and they were like doing Instagram live, and they were already showing like they were doing like the tear gas and stuff out there. So it wasn't peaceful. Well, they were doing what they needed to do, but they showed that one of the cops incited it, like pushed one of the girls.
Yeah. Was it the one that this wasn't the one that the female cop like bitched him out after?
Yeah.
It was that one?
Yeah.
Wow.
But then so then somebody was like posting up that there was one in Coral Springs. So my friend was like, yo, let's go out to this one. And I was nervous at first because I still was having my paranoia about COVID. And I'm like, all those people.
Hell yeah.
Like,
hell yeah.
So I was just like, all right, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. So then she was like, yeah, I'm going to come swoop you up. We'll go out there. And I was like, all right, cool. And then like people were like saying like, yo, don't go to this one. Like there was like DMs, like, or people were like posting in their Insta stories like, they're like, oh, don't go to this one. You know, we don't know if it's like organized by the right people, you know. So I had my doubts of going, and then I actually like went, and it was actually organized by like 2 Pakistani kids, or descent. They were like very adamant about it because they were like, you know, they were upset about the issue and they wanted to do something about it in their areas. So they were just like, we really wanted to do something here. So they got the city commissioner to, you know, come out there, and he was a black guy, and the police were there, but they were just like on the outside, just like watching. And they weren't like heavy protected, you know. They weren't wearing like anything crazy. They weren't even wearing masks. They were just like chilling.
They weren't wearing masks?
Nah.
Wow.
They're just like chilling.
Wow.
So it was like from 2 to 4, and we were just like on the streets, whatever. And like the organizers, they were just like trying to keep everybody in check. They were like trying to make sure nobody was out in traffic or in the medians. They were like telling them to come back. And then like it ended at 4, and they're like, we're done at 4, so please go home. Like, we can't tell you to, you know, leave, but we're telling you to, because, you know, after that, you know, people linger.
Yeah.
So
did you leave at 4? How was your personal experience as far as were people getting in like if people got in the faces of the cops, were the cops, you know, being violent, were, you know?
No, there was no violence because it's also Coral Springs. It's like very suburban.
What was the crowd like as far as the protesters?
It was very young.
Yeah?
Like a lot of college students,
Yeah?
like and young families, like a lot of, you know, parents like brought their kids, like
Wow.
younger kids.
Dope.
Yeah.
Did you feel heard?
I did. But, you know, this is just like one of these fights. You just got to keep fighting.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's like one day isn't enough.
Definitely. What I guess what are your 2 cents on on everything that's been going on for such a long time? And what do you think would be the resolution?
It's tough. That's a real tough question.
Yeah.
You know, it's a broken system.
Definitely.
Or, you know, a working system that's just not for us. You know? So it's just something, you know, that needs to be tossed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because people are always talking about reform. And it's just like, yeah, they'll reform it, but just in a way to benefit them again.
And like you can try to squeeze out, you know, all the quote unquote bad apples that you want, but sooner or later they're gonna crawl back in, you know, new bad apples. Do you think that it should be abolished completely?
It's hard. Like, I don't know about like the police force. You saying?
Yeah.
Like, abolish that?
Yeah.
Like, I know people are doing their hardest to like defund it.
Yeah.
Because that's where a lot of money is going to. Like I just saw something that was like NYPD get like $8 billion.
Some ridiculous amount of money, like crazy amount of money.
It's gonna happen already though.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
But that
They
was
were
happen
gonna-
before that's not the result of it. Like it was already gonna happen.
And Craig is saying that was already going to happen. What's your take? Because throughout this week, it's everybody has to do their part in spreading the word. And I don't think that, even though social media right now is flooded with that, I think it's a positive thing because it raises awareness.
Yeah.
But I do want to because I did have a conflict because of like I was listening to you guys this week because of your post, and I was on the fence as to whether to post the black square or not, because a lot of people, it's like if you don't post it, you're a Klans member, and then and then some people are like, you shouldn't post it because it's bombarding the feed, and you're turning.
It already did it. That's the problem.
And it'll give you less information of what's actually going on.
Correct.
What's everybody's take on all this? Ali, you can start.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I didn't agree with the black post because I felt like it was already censorship. It happened on a Tuesday when we were orchestrating just a way for us to impact and show how our black dollar matters. But it happened on the same Tuesday. So now they make Blackout Tuesday, and it powered the Black Lives Matter post. You can do however you want to say that it's supposed to be Black Out Tuesday, but the celebrities already did it. It's done, So it like completely shut that down.
It shut out a whole day during the revolution.
Yeah.
So I say it again.
It cut out a whole day out of the revolution.
Craig
Correct.
says that it cut out a whole day of the revolution.
So if you think about it, we were able to see how we've been impacted through the protests, through just through the years. We were able to communicate socially. That's the biggest way to talk to the world right now, right? On the next day, everybody was saying to put a black post and shut off the social media. How does that help? How does that make it anywhere of activism? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. And to act like that is a way to unify the people, you're not spreading knowledge to nobody with the black post. You feel me? So.
Ill, what are your 2 cents?
I understand where it was coming from. I understand that it was supposed to, raise awareness, or I guess show that it's a larger body of people that are standing with this than they anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the purpose of it. They wanted to show like, you guys get most of your media from us. So if we black it out, you're gonna see how boring and dull the internet can be. So kind of showing like, we're a big part of what goes on in this world and how we move it. I think that was their purpose. Was it effective? I don't know. I don't really know. You feel me? I was part of it. But yeah, I think the intentions were good. You feel me? And I know they were there. I don't know how effective it was. The world, you feel me? I think the world did it, right? Or
Yeah.
at least the world knew about it. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing too. I think this has been.
But you can't get much out of a black post. You feel me? Like you
feel
think about logic, like logically and emotionally, the emotion played off of people with that black post. But logically, that shit ain't did nothing. That ain't tell nobody nothing. That ain't tell nobody how we can link up, how we can make an impact, how we can do shit for nobody. It just put a fucking black post. You feel me? And then when you look on the Black Lives Matter, that shit is already done.
Blacked out.
It's blacked out.
Blacked out. Jerel?
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So I sometimes have my own conspiracy theories.
Gang. Hey, tell us, because we're open ears over here.
So that was one thing, because I've been following Twitter a lot.
Okay.
Like, I love to follow Twitter and what's up. And I remember they were saying, like, you know, the music industry, they were going to do, like, the whole pause.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that they were going to do that, like, that same day. So, you know.
Yeah, the theater also, the industry, they're like, oh, instead of the show must go on, the show is paused or something like that.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
So it was just like the music industry, like Sony and them, they were like, we're going to not play music or whatever.
Sony and them. All right.
So it was just like, all right. And then the blackout post came at the same time. And people, I guess, misread, you know, the whole post. And they were still like hashtagging Black Lives Matter. So it just became this thing. It was like, oops. And
Yeah.
you know, like with algorithms, like with Instagram and stuff like that, people were like, especially non-black people who were just using it as an opportunity to be like, this is my statement.
Yeah, to be like, hey guys, I'm not
enough
racist.
activism to
Yeah,
forget.
like, by the way, I'm not
Black
racist. Like,
Lives
yeah.
Matter.
Yeah.
Hashtag Black Lives Matter. So it was just like easy. And then, you know, it did flood. And people are like, no, stop, remove that,
They were
that.
making posts about remove it and then add it again, but with the hashtag Blackout Tuesday.
Right.
I think it just doubled down on it.
You think so?
They should just never did it in the first place.
Craig says that it doubled down on it. And what else? I'm
They
sorry?
should have never did it in the first
That
place.
it should never happen in the first
It's
place.
supposed to be on a Thursday, then you switch it to Tuesday right overnight.
Well, also, it definitely got in the middle of, as far as like voting goes, a lot of information. Ali's like, I've been saying this. It got in the middle of
I
like,
wonder why.
it got in the middle of like, as far as like dispersing voting information, that sort of thing. But I have heard something about like, oh, don't tell us to vote. That isn't gonna do shit. I'm sorry, I disagree with that. Like you got to do what you're doing now and also vote, because you got to hit them where it hurts. You know,
Right.
like you got to do both. And also the defunding. The defunding is key, in my opinion, because once you tell them like, hey, that check ain't coming, they're like, what? You know, like the whole attitude is gonna change real fucking quick. Did you see that video? It's disgusting of the T.I. Wakanda of the police officers pushing the elderly man and cracking his head open.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know what I believe, to be honest with you?
What?
The same way that we have seen people in the Black Lives Matter movement or in the protest or just doing their activism, there have been, what's that thing? Ops. We've said it, right? So how is there not ops in the police department, in the government? I don't feel like everybody in the police department is a bad person. Fuck 12. Not all of the police are bad. You feel me? So the police that are bad are the ones that are making the whole department look bad.
Of course.
You know, and those are the ops.
Yeah.
Those are the ops.
When they say, was it an MLK quote?
Don't look at my eyes. Y'all
just-
don't know me.
was it an MLK quote when he goes, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere? And I mean, it resonates so profoundly.
There was a protester who had like a sign that said, the reason you don't see the KKK and the police in the same room is like Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus.
So good.
Where that happened, 57 police officers
Resigned.
resigned.
Yeah.
So them people, that's how you know.
Those
all
were
right,
good.
y'all, we know.
Like,
you know what
respect,
I'm saying?
Respect. You know, like
Yeah, they resigned. They were
Yeah.
like,
Not even respect, just where you going, because now y'all gonna start a fucking whole nother group because y'all have like minds. You know what I'm saying? Infiltrate to a whole nother city.
But you don't think they left because they were fed up with, like, they thought that was nasty? Like, I don't know. You thought they left because they're gonna
No, because the man, the governor said that the police officer was wrong, and whoever disagrees can resign.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
57 of them, you gotta watch them. Watch them.
That's crazy.
This is a crazy time that we're living in.
and it's like on Twitter, it's like call out culture now. Like people just calling out everybody.
Well, the good thing is that if you're a Karen, within like 5 minutes, like your info is gonna be exposed. Like if they
Man,
film
expose
you,
them.
if they film you being racist, oh, the internet's gonna get you in like 3 minutes, yo. Like, that's the beautiful part about it. And then they lose their jobs, and like life happens, you know, like
Sarah Cooper.
Oh my God.
There's a lady who called the cops on like a guy with the birds.
Oh my God. Yeah, I saw that.
Sarah Cooper.
Yeah. Or Amy Cooper.
Oh yeah.
Like the guy was like, "Can you put your dog on a leash?"
Well, I appreciate that he wasn't trying to be like, listen, I want her to learn what she did was wrong. I don't want, her life to be ruined of so many words that he said. But as long as knowledge, like, we can call out everybody that we want to, but what you're doing is wrong. Know what you're doing is wrong and be aware of it. And yeah, definitely get your, I don't know if so much of repercussions of losing everything, but probably lose some of it. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely feel like knowledge is power. Just like he was being, just wanting you to be aware. You're not fucking right. You're being racist in your terms that you're saying, and apologize. And and
that's the thing, but I hate when a lot of the times, like, these people will give a fake apology once they've lost everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, thanks, but we're good. It's like, have you ever had any experience of bigotry or racism here in the studio?
In the studio?
Any sort of, either towards you, a customer, anything.
In the studio? Not that I know of any. I definitely got it in my last, not my when I used to work at AT&T. I used to work at the call center. So we had I was in the bilingual section. We would take Spanish and English calls.
Hell yeah, boy.
And so sometimes we'd get calls from like people who know nothing of Spanish, and as soon as they heard my last name Campos, they're like, "Yo, I don't want to speak to a Mexican."
Oh my
and I'd
God,
be like,
yo.
Before I even spoke, it was just like, because we have a pre-recorded message like, "Hey, thank you for calling AT&T. My name is Edwin Campos. How can I help you?" "Oh, I don't want to speak to a Mexican." I'm like, "How you doing, sir?" And you can't insult them.
You can't. That's the thing. When they're already with that mindset, you can't.
Oh, you can't. So I'm like, oh no, don't worry about it. I speak English. I'm speaking proper English.
Like proper.
I don't even have an accent. And they're like, no, I don't want to speak to a Mexican. Put me on with American. I'm like, I'm American, sir. I was born here. How can I help? Let me help you. He's like, no.
And you're not even you're not even remotely Mexican, by the way. Not even a little bit. Like,
not even slightly. It's like, those are the type of people you tell them, no, I'm Dominican. They're like, oh, what part of Mexico is that in? I'm just like, I'm good. But it's fine. I mean, I don't care. Like, that's their ignorance. I was like, all right. And I just gave it to my manager. Here you go, sir. And I get to sit out. I don't even have to work.
I'm going to sleep better tonight than you. And that's facts.
So, I mean, I've definitely dealt with it in AT&T. But the thing about that was that AT&T, the call center we were receiving calls from all over the country. So it wasn't just Florida. You feel what I'm saying? Not to say that Florida isn't racist. Obviously, there's racism everywhere. But it's we spoke about it last time in Miami. It's I don't know. I didn't see it as much growing up here. I saw it. I definitely did. And I definitely even had to put some people in check. But I've never seen it, I guess, like the way I see it online in these other states. I've never seen something that crazy here in Miami. That's just my experience.
If there was a customer that was super nice, but you saw him pull up in with like a Confederate flag bumper sticker, would you turn them down?
Yo, Papa, we're closed.
We're closed, baby.
We're closed.
We're closed.
I tell the engineers here all the time, like, look, you guys have every right to shut down the session for whatever reason. If people are getting irate, I mean, if they're making you irate and they're being, irresponsible and they're out here doing whatever, making a mess or disrespecting drugs, flashing guns around, be like, nah, look, that. You give them a warning, because it's not. I like to be fair too. You feel me? Everybody's different, bro. And I'm like, yo, look, it's cool, bro. Even when I tell people you can't smoke tobacco in here, I'm really cool. Hey man, look, I see you're vibing, like you look like you're comfortable. I'm so sorry to do this to you, but tobacco has to be outside. Everything else, but tobacco has to be outside. So there's ways to talk to people, for sure. And after that, if they continue to be dumb, then hey, listen, bro, like I can't continue the session.
Can't do that.
It's
can't do
simple,
that.
So,
Jerel, have you had anything as far as like maybe in an audition or maybe backstage, any sort of performance or any sort of performance where you had to encounter any sort of bigotry or racism?
Absolutely.
Oh shit! Spill the tea. Spill the tea.
It's just not like. It's just, I guess living as a Black person, you just go through it as an experience. So it's like, working with people in theater is different.
Yeah,
because
they're so raw, yo. Their emotions are out there.
Yeah, and they're very, like you said, they're very open and just like almost like lovey and huggy.
After like a minute of knowing you.
Yeah, so it's like, you do a show and everybody thinks like we're best friends, and sometimes people feel like they can like make a joke, and you're like, and like literally I go through my head, I'm like, am I about to like say something? Am I about to like, make a scene? Like if I say something, I'm like,
Yeah,
just laugh, and just like, that wasn't funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I go through those experiences, and especially like, I will say there isn't that many Black people in theater. I will say like, I'm blessed to be like one or the two other people in the show. So I just like take it and I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. You got to do that.
Oh yeah, the chainsaw. I don't know if you guys saw him.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He should lose his job, lose everything, lose it all.
I don't know what he was thinking. Well, definitely he wasn't thinking.
I just saw that right now before this.
And know what the fuck you were doing wrong. What the fuck, and go to jail.
Why did he just run out with a chainsaw?
I don't fucking.
That's like
he was
attempted
just
murder.
chasing protesters away.
He wasn't a fan of the protesters.
My gun would have been out. Hey, what's up, Papo?
Yeah.
Oh, you saw the boy with the Hunger Games bow and arrow.
Him too.
I was trying to
violence.
I was trying to reason with Craig. I'm like, what if they just gave him that like as a birthday present? He just so happened to have it in his bag.
But why do you want to fucking do it to the protesters?
Craig is like, yo, at what point in your life are you like, let me drive around with my bow and arrow?
Right?
How does that just, you know what I'm saying?
The fuck?
That was funny.
It's not like he was about to go hunting.
No,
Yeah.
Oh my
like, that
God.
was specifically for that.
Straight to the writers.
So lose it all. That one too, especially. Yeah, but be aware. I want everybody.
I believe he
to
is getting charged.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, he is getting charged. But he was actually he had been in jail before. Like he has this whole record, and it was like he has a record of being like a racist piece of shit. And. I mean, I don't want to get. We always say I don't want to get too political, but there was like all these people came out of the woodwork when a certain president, came to power.
Yeah, it's like American Horror Story.
And I was I went to New York.
The Purge Part 3.
Yeah.
The first Purge.
Yeah.
You saw that one?
Yeah. Have you seen American Horror Story? Cult.
Which?
It's called Cult.
You would love it.
I felt like that's the one I vibed with the most because I felt like it was the most realistic.
Is that the one with Gaga?
No.
Okay.
The one that I saw was.
It's literally about the election.
Oh shit.
American Horror Story.
Yeah, it's like the most realistic one because there isn't like any monsters or like gore and stuff like that. It's like
really?
people freak out about
And it's
this
still,
guy who like wins the presidency.
Which season was this?
American Horror Story.
It's probably like after like Roanoke or something like that.
Oh shit, that's crazy. I didn't see this one. That's the one I liked, Roanoke. That one was crazy.
What would you if you had to pick, I guess 3 performers, actors, actresses, whatever the case, that you would call your biggest inspirations, what would they be?
I would say Will Smith would be one of them.
Dang, I peeped the backwards cap. Come on.
Eddie Murphy.
Oh.
Like, I just love like all that old stuff, like Coming to America and stuff like that.
Have you been in a comedy?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Like in plays and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Like,
he's
that's how we met.
amazing. Yeah.
We did a dinner theater.
We did a dinner theater.
Comedy.
What's it called? Joey and Maria's
Italian wedding.
And he was the wedding planner.
planner.
The wedding planner. He was amazing. and I was the.
Was it more improv, or you guys had to?
No, there was a script, but there was a good amount of improv though.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like interacting with the guests.
Yeah,
and
there
stuff, like,
were some nights we'll change up the entire premise of the show. Like, oh my god! But that's the thing about live theater. You can have so much fun with it. It's a lot of fun, just because it's like you have an inside joke almost. You know, like that's how I would feel every time I would perform with him, because. Like we would make jokes when we're seshing, and we would say the jokes on stage, and like people would still laugh, but they wouldn't really understand it, but we would get it, you know. So it's like that sort of like, I don't know, inner energy. It's really something different. Do you foresee yourself trying to branch out more to film and television, or are you kind of trying to stay in the...
I do.
Yeah?
Like, I really enjoyed doing that, like, when I was in New York.
Yeah.
That was, like, all I did.
What was your New York experience like?
Oof. It was rough. Because
Yeah?
I'm a Florida boy.
Yeah.
So, like, the
I
weather...
ain't built for this weather,
the
boy.
weather, that's something I can't really get into.
Yeah.
But, I did a few shows, and, like, actually, I did a pretty good amount of shows up there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was like exciting. Got to see like different celebrities like John Leguizamo.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I saw Niecy Nash, Russell Crowe,
Bro, shit.
Seth MacFarlane.
Look
just
at you.
like feet away, and just like, you know, they'll talk to you. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? How you doing? And you're like,
Yeah.
you want to ask for a picture, but it's, you know, it's not.
You're
a
trying to
vibe.
Yeah,
be
it's
cool.
not, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
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 everybody's trying to get that union craft table. That's what we all trying to get.
Yeah, can we talk about it?
Can we
Union
talk-
craft table is
So there's two, when you go to
segregation.
so when you go to like do a film or a TV or whatever, there's union and non-union. Most of the extras, and you know, not most of the time the extras are non-union. Sometimes they'll require union extras or whatever the case. So to join the union, you have to pay like a really pretty expensive fee. You have to get a certain amount of for theater you have to get a certain amount of hours in a union theater, and for film and TV you have
Gotta
to
like get a certain amount of like waivers.
like
Stuff like that.
it's this whole thing. But when you're in the union, like you literally have like people, I don't know, let's say but your contract says that you need a fucking 15-minute break every X amount of hours. You will get that break. If you don't get that break, you have someone from the union office calling the production, making this whole thing, basically making
They'll
it
get them
happen.
fined.
Yeah. Or they get fined, and you get a pay bump. Like it's this whole thing. And the difference as far as like the food of the non-union and the union, you give them a rundown.
So like you could be in like a major film, like I don't know if you guys saw like Uncut Gems on Netflix.
Hell yeah.
Like,
Adam Sandler.
I would see like notices for that, and they'd be like, "Oh, do this film." Like you will be there, and they'll be like, "All right, it's lunchtime," and there'll be like tables just like lined up, food, but they like make you wait. They be like, "All right, all tech." All the cameraman, all these people, they
Everybody
all have
but
to go
your ass.
first.
Yeah.
They all have to go first.
Yeah.
Nobody eats until the last person gets their food.
Dude.
Maybe you get scraps if you're lucky.
And then once that happens, then they call the union members, and there's usually 20 union members. Like I want to say, like that's like their requirement for shows. It's like, okay, you gotta have at least 20, and then the rest it can be non-union. So then they have the union members eat first, and then after the union members, they're like, all right, non-union.
It's like a
Come get these
platform.
scraps.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Get your little scraps.
And then, but like that's just lunch. So like they have like their craft tables.
Like,
Like
here's a
the
lettuce leaf.
Craft tables for like the leads and everything.
Yeah,
They
and you can
have,
just go
like,
there whenever you want to pick up food. Like if you're a
sandwich
union,
makers and salmon.
they'll
and-
make like legit smoothies on the spot for you. Like it's this
Yeah.
whole
For sure.
Wow.
And then we have like a card table with like apples and granola bars.
Yeah, for non-union, they're like, here's a granola bar. You know? Like,
and they really check you. They're like, non-union over there.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even like walk over there to smell anything. They're like, nah.
Yeah, nah. They don't. It's cold out there. It's cold out there. But I'll be lying if I said I didn't sneak in a little Jamaican patty here and there. You know what I'm saying? Because fuck that noise.
Well, I snuck up there a few times.
How long are the usual days as far as like for background work?
They're long.
Yeah, like 12 hours or so.
Yeah, 12 hours usually.
And it's like a 5 a.m. call time, you know? So you got to wake up at like 3:30 to start getting ready.
Yeah. I lived up in like 207, like Dykeman. And that was like the last stop on the A train. And usually I had to go midtown or downtown or go to Brooklyn or Queens. So I would be like leaving my house at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to be there at 6, just to sit around for like 3 hours to be like, all right, we're gonna bring y'all the set. It's like 11, 12, and you're like, I'm tired.
Yeah. No, there's sometimes that I would go and I mean, sometimes you get paid to wait. Sometimes you never go on. Sometimes you'll get paid, that. Like you'll get paid for the day, but you'll never actually go and do never go on set because they either took too long or this or they were behind. But you still got paid for the day. But I mean, you were just either reading or on your phone in the waiting. You know.
That's what I was doing. I was literally on my phone booking the next gig. Just sitting all day, just like, all right, I'm gonna be in FBI tomorrow. Being God friended me.
You got anything before we start wrapping up?
Same message last time, man. Be safe. There's a lot of uncertain. I guess we're going through uncertain times right now.
Yeah. To try to get to more certain times. So.
There we go. Come on, somebody.
Come on.
We're almost halfway done with the year.
There we go. There we go.
Kobe Bryant.
No way. That came out of nowhere, yo.
It's still
no, I understand.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
Kobe Bryant, Craig.
Dude.
Just be safe. Keep pushing what y'all doing, man, and get your paper up. That's it.
Show. Ali?
Knowledge is power, and as much as that is always said, that will, like, nobody can take that away. So I remember when we were talking about when you were saying that when you were talking to the cop and he was like holding his gun, you know, and how to me that's fear. Talking ever back to the cop is like, tell me what you can say. So what in that situation is my right. So I appreciate if you would elaborate more on that if you ever have more knowledge on that, and definitely for everybody else to be aware that we have rights, but we need to be aware of them.
Hell yeah. Craig, you got anything for the people? That's beautiful. He said yeah. He said ditto. I'm a ditto on that one. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are ever, at a Mr. Jerel Brown performance, and even though it's not allowed, you kind of sneak in a little camera, you know what I'm saying? You start filming some of that amazing performance. And you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do with all this footage of this remarkable, this human being with talents that will surpass the sky? What am I going to do? I'm going to hit up Tom MJ Moore. Because that man is an editing master, and he is going to get all of your Jerel Brown footage and make it look like an IMAX masterpiece. Mr. Jerel Brown, I personally thank you so much for bestowing us with your presence today. You are, I can't put it into words how talented you are.
Stop.
And do you have anything for everybody before we write out?
I just want people to stay proactive out there. Continue to sign petitions and donate because it's not just a one-time thing. You gotta keep going.
Keep going.
10 positions a day.
That's beautiful. That's the numbers everybody should be trying to get, But everybody, the drill. Every Thursday at midnight. If not, Friday morning while you vibing on the way to work, or if you're still working at the crib. check out Mr. Jerel Brown. You know, you see the pictures on the screen, you see the links, you see the Instagram. Check him out. You won't be sorry. Follow us on Spotify, on Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. And as always, we'll see you on Thursday at midnight. Holla.
Well, you can talk about anything, and it don't matter what the world thinks. You can say how you feel on midnight in Miami. Well, you can push it to the limit. It gets real with only one and ill. You're locked into midnight in Miami. The podcast.